Hi, my friends, my brothers and sisters, my family, and of course my esteemed colleagues. So, in last video I was talking about opening our mind, accepting the new, and revealing the truth about glucose, how toxic actually it is, and that glucose has its root in all our, or almost all our chronic health problems. One of them, of course, circulation. We are always being told diabetes is a problem of sugar. So sugar, and we are pointed Coca-Cola, Pepsi-Cola, the sweet stuff, the fructose that is in there. In my video about glucose, I told you the truth. We are being again pushed to look that way when the problem is actually in this direction. Okay, it's not the fructose, it's not the sweet stuff. It's actually the starch, the glucose, the stuff that is not sweet, because this is what prompts the body to produce insulin and push it in the blood, which starts creating an array of problems, of which of them are dehydration, high cholesterol, and of course the resistance of insulin to the resistance of cells to the insulin, which ends up in diabetes. Diabetes is one of the top money-making diseases for the medical pharmaceutical complex. It's an industry complex. Has nothing to do with well-being and health. It's all about money and making more money. So, when you have increased sugar levels in your blood, they say, well, if it's 110, 120, you are pre-diabetic. There is no such a thing as a pre or post. You either have a normal sugar levels, which should be between 50 and 90, or you are diabetic. Diabetes is not a disease, it's a symptom of elevated level of sugar in the blood. This is what diabetes means. So, no such a thing as pre-diabetic. Sugar is 100 or more, you are diabetic. Now, body, why do we have this increased sugar in blood? Body produces sugar and it keeps it in the blood, not as energy source as we are being told, but basically as source of protein production, of nucleic acids. And if the level increases, the body is forced to deal with it. Since it can use it, it starts producing energy from it. When it's too much, turns it into fat, and when it cannot handle the load, it starts urinating it. So it starts pushing it out of the body. Now, if you have elevated blood sugar levels, you go see doctor, and he goes, okay, well, it's not that bad, so he gives you a pill. The pill is going to prevent your liver to produce sugar. It will impede in this process. But not only liver, also your cells. It is an unhealthy thing to do. If you don't eat glucose, if you are not glucoholic, and you take these pills, well, you become sick. They're toxic. You cannot have, you should never be working against the autopilot of healing of the body. So when you are being even given these pills, you still have to monitor your sugar, blood levels in your blood. So you have the little machine, you pop in the finger, you take some blood, you check, okay, I need the pill or I don't need the pill. Well, as your problem is increasing because you are not being told the truth, so you continue poisoning your body, of course, the problem is going to become stronger, and you will need more pills, or eventually you will be put on insulin because the pills are not going to do the trick. So if body is prevented of synthesizing a sugar, where does this sugar come from? It comes from the food that you eat. Okay? It's not the fructose initially. It is always the glucose, but the glucose then increases the absorption of sugar, and then even fructose becomes problematic because you just absorb too much of it. So, what the doctor tells you, let's say if, especially when you go on insulin, doctor tells you, okay, you shoot this much and this much insulin, but make sure you eat a little bit of bread or a little bit of pasta. Or, why? Because doctor knows that if you don't have this in a food, your blood sugar will drop automatically. And now if you force this with insulin to enter your cells, you actually can go too low on sugar. You can become hypoglycemic. So to avoid this, the doctor basically gives you antidote and informs you, eat more poison. How do you think you can ever heal? You are being poisoned. It's like, my friends, I got a great antidote for snake poison. Okay, let's look for a snake. Okay, bite me. I mean, no sane man is going to do this. But we all keep doing it, listening to our doctors. Eat a toxin, take antidote. Eat toxin, take antidote. So here, as we are reprogramming our brain, what I mean by reprogramming, allow the information to enter, because the brain basically is a machine, computer. If you have in a computer one program already, let's say one video editor or sound or music program, you cannot play same song on two different programs at the same time. It's noisy, it's lousy, it doesn't work. So you always have to choose one or the other, and you will reject the other. So if you have a program already set in, let's say you have been told and you firmly believe now, because you have been explained that salt takes water, holds the water, now more salt, more water you held, here comes your hypertension, this makes sense to your brain, okay, woof. And now somebody tells you, well, it's not really like this. The salt you need to take because you don't even listen to because. Somebody tells you take salt and you know that salt is terrible, you just let it slide. You don't even pay attention, it doesn't penetrate. Well, this is how programming goes, brainwashing goes. Now we have to consciously fight against this. So when you hear some new information, don't reject it, don't let it bounce off of you. Absorb it, especially I explain always the whole process. I'm not just telling you, okay, you have to do this and this to get well. I explain exactly what is happening in the body, how it functions, and why it should be done. So here, the brain can absorb some information. Let it go in. You don't have to agree with me. Just let it go in. Think about it a little bit. But then brain has more material to calculate. And all of a sudden, it is going to start making sense. Okay? So now I was reprogramming you on a glucose, on a sugar issue, explaining that glucose is actually extremely toxic because it really reprograms our genetic expression, our genome changes. Forget about the flora and fauna in intestines. This changes constantly depending on what you eat. But genetically, your cells are being reprogrammed. You don't produce the same enzymes. You don't produce the same proteins because now you have to adjust to completely different environment in your body. Now your animal body is being treated like a plant. You are being nourished with a plant food which you have no storage for. So this is where the diabetes comes. Diabetes 1 and diabetes 2, it's the same thing. Very seldom, maybe 3 out of 100, and that's even too much. Maybe 1 in 1,000 cases is a problem that pancreas is damaged and doesn't produce insulin. The problem comes from cells thickening their membrane, which now insulin cannot penetrate. You cannot produce so much insulin that will penetrate. Remember, for size of the body, humans have the largest pancreas. Now why? Because our pancreas works overtime 24/7 and has to enlarge to be able to fill the demand. But it has limits. It cannot go forever. You will be walking pancreas to deal with all the sugar. And again, this doesn't help you because basically you are getting damage on cellular level. This is why your circulation gets damaged. This is why you start losing eyesight. This is like you start wrinkling. This is a lot of things are directly connected. Your arthritis, your kidney stones, your bladder stones, all the multiple inflammations in the body, osteoporosis, osteopenia, all this crap is connected directly to glucose. So how do we heal ourselves? Well, we can start right here, right now, today. And we'll start with the worst thing that we are told it's non-curable, diabetes. I don't care if you have diabetes 1 or diabetes 2. You are going to heal. I'm telling you, 0.1% of you may have a problem because pancreas is really damaged. So, here is what you got to do. This is now putting in action what we have been talking about. Reprogramming in action. Now to see for yourself the truth. You want to heal from diabetes. Stop taking dietary carbohydrate. What is dietary carbohydrate? Dietary carbohydrate is the one that has been processed either by heat or by grinding. Okay, so even oatmeal, if you don't cook it, because it's ground seed, you put it in water, you mix it, water gets white. This is glucose. So you cannot have any processed or cooked vegetable, not only food with starches, but all vegetables. You just stop it. But if you do that, the same day when you do this, stop taking metformin or any pill that prevents sugar synthesis in your body. You have to do it, otherwise you become hypoglycemic, maybe in the second day already. And you cannot shoot your insulin in regular doses as you are used to. But before you shoot insulin, you have to check your blood and then shoot half of what you would normally shoot, because your sugar is not going to rise, not as much as normally. I had friends and clients who have been diabetics shooting insulin for 25 years. One of them, my good friend from St. Martin, Mike, he was shooting over 200 units daily, sometimes 300 ID units of insulin daily, and could not get his sugar below 200, usually 220, 230, 250, even with this amount of insulin. Because again, his cells were so rigid so dense that even the high quantities of insulin could not really do the job. Well, when he started following this correct diet, in 3 weeks, he stopped shooting insulin. 3 weeks. Almost daily, he had to shoot less, and less. And after 3 weeks, his insulin levels his sugar levels in the blood without shooting insulin were below 200. They were high, 180, 190, but below 200. So, this is really no brain washer, whatever. This is very simple thing to do. Just stop poisoning yourself with forbidden fruit, and you will see the miracle of healing. Now, what I also recommend that you hydrate properly with water and sea salt, which is not refined, which is not bleach and not iodide. Just plain sea salt or seawater. Mix sea salt or seawater with regular drinking water. If you are on a seashore, take 1 glass of water, put 1 finger of seawater, and the rest put regular water and drink it like this. This is just to help your body to cleanse. But as far as the sugar goes, you will see the moment you stop poisoning yourself with dietary glucose, you cease to be diabetic. Now people say, well, but this is not healing, because now if I eat carbohydrates, sugar goes up. Well, what happens? When you stop consuming glucose, then little by little, because there is no more necessity for insulin, so little by little, the GLUT level in your cells will drop, which means the transporter for sugars are going to be dropping. When you start this process, when you stop eating dietary carbohydrates, you also cannot eat fruits, because your transporting mechanism for sugar is very high. So you will be absorbing a lot of fructose, and this will keep your sugar high. You have to stop even with the fruits, nothing of it. And what will happen? Sugar is not coming, and most importantly, glucose is not coming, so the GLUT levels are going to stop dropping. Within 2 to 3 months tops, your GLUT levels will be low enough that you can start eating fruits. And you can eat as much fruits as you want, and your sugar is not going to go up. Your sugar will jump just a little bit, let's say to 120, no matter how much fruit you will eat. And you can eat it daily, and sugar will not start increasing. It will be what it is. I recommend you stay even without fruits for 3 or 4 months until your blood sugar goes below 100 to stabilize low. So this way you decrease as much absorption of sugar as possible. And then you can start with fruits. Once when you heal yourself, healing means you put your GLUT levels down where they're supposed to be, and your cells are going to start now shedding off the unnecessary layers of cholesterol that was protecting them. They will start thinning the membranes to be more receptive to insulin. And 2 other things, you will start healing. For this process, what may happen, your levels of cholesterol are going to jump. Why? Because your body is in a healing process. So as soon as it starts shedding the cholesterol, well, the cholesterol will end up in the blood. And then this cholesterol, liver will absorb and break it down and convert it into triglyceride because it is not needed anymore. So cholesterol levels will first jump as the healing process is going on, and then will start dropping until it normalizes in the lower levels as the healing process is done. The healing in this case means the proper adjustment of a thickness of cellular membrane. So don't get confused. If you are a medicated person and you have a variety of problems, I strongly suggest you contact me or someone who knows the truth to lead you, because you will have to get rid of all the medication, because medication is preventing your healing because it prevents absorption of water. You will be able to drop down and get rid of the diabetes, but there are many other problems which you won't be able to rectify unless you give up all the medication. Well, this is a blow to the fake pharmaceutical science and fake medical science. Before I could not make videos like this. You know why? Now, here we are liberated. Yeah, the pricks are still around, but they know they lost. Now we can start healing. And with this video, with this knowledge now, all diabetic people can heal, and heal rapidly. And not only by normalizing their blood levels, but as I have mentioned, how many different diseases are created, chronic problems, because we eat the forbidden fruit. Now question is, so, wow, this is all I know how to eat, especially if you're a vegetarian. What is your nourishment? You don't eat any animal protein, so what is your nourishment? Glucose, the forbidden fruit. Well, my friend, you have to make your decision. Either you want to heal, or you stick to the stupidity. What the food should be is the food of wild omnivore, bear, wolf, raccoon in nature. Don't look at them going through trash cans. They are opportunists like we are. They will eat any crap. So, especially if it's sweet. So, what you eat? My shake, everybody loves it. So the shake is basically you take in a blender, you put 2 eggs, don't put shell inside, okay? Some schmucks like Arnold Schwarzenegger, they put because they think they are getting calcium. They just don't have much here, but because they are famous, so they think they are somebody. Just break eggs, put them in, take 1 glass of natural plain yogurt without any sugar in it, put coconut oil, 3-4 spoons of coconut oil. You can put as much as you want. And sweeten it up if you want it sweet. Sweeten it up with 2 or 3 raw bananas. Banana is sweet. Make sure it's sweet banana, because now they have all these hybrids, they pick them green, they don't have time to, it's a lot of monkeying, so I eliminated banana, but it is tastier with banana. And banana in a raw form is not going to bring you enough sugar, even for diabetes. Even if you are diabetic, you can have 1 banana inside. It is going to raise sugar a little bit, because remember, it's a raw banana, so it's only the touch of fructose that it has that is going to affect you. It's negligible, so you can have banana. You can have raw banana in your juice. Then you blend it, and this is your perfect food. It's loaded with fats, animal fats, vitamins A, D, and K, and it is loaded with protein. Everything your body needs comes in this meal. Then if you want to eat something else, any kind of a meat, as raw as possible, you can have. My favorite raw, completely raw meat is carpaccio, but also steak tartare or fish tartare. They are fabulous. But you can also take a cheeseburger, make it yourself. Just get nice beef. You can even mix beef and pork, grind, mix them together, make it nice and thick. And on very hot pan, don't use oil, cooking oil, never. Use butter, and if you want to heat it very much so that you don't burn it, touch olive oil in the butter. And then heat it, and then on very hot, put the cheeseburger and just sear it on all sides. And then put it on a bed of lettuce. If you want, take a bacon strips, fry them well, break them, it's just for flavor. The fat is nourishing, it's good fat for you. So just put fat over it, put these crumbles just to make flavor and taste to it. And you can put even cheese on top. Make a real cheeseburger, but without bun, without French fries, just on a bed of lettuce. You can put tomato, and you can use mayonnaise, especially if you make it yourself. Mayonnaise is eggs and oil. You can use sunflower oil to make it. You're not doing a ton of it, so just put I mean, it's delicious stuff. But when you cut it, inside has to be raw. And you will see raw meat is sweet, it's tender, it's juicy. So it smells right and it tastes just fabulous. So you can have this, you can have any kind of meat you want. Fish, chicken, duck, whatever you want, but try not to overcook it. Because once when you overcook it, you destroy it, it becomes very hard to digest, or sometimes it cannot even digest. Okay, so there are a few tips. And let me know how it works. I guarantee 100% healing. I guarantee it. Okay, that's for today. See you next time. Bye.